On this episode, we're going to be watching Indiana University's explosive runs in the national championship game versus Miami. These are all going to be runs of 10 plus yards. Variety of different schemes, right? We're going to go through all of them, but these are runs that change the momentum of the game, force the defense's hands a little bit once you start breaking out these 10 plus yard runs. Good. This first one, third down. Motion over. All right. Big gain. At a shotgun, it looks like they're running like a form of like duo or insert inside zone. Very similar. We'll watch it from the other angle to see what they're running. All right, good. So Indiana caught Miami here in this defense, right? Third down, third and long defense. Okay, they got 6 guys on the line of scrimmage, right? 3, 4, 5, 6. They're going to motion over one offensive player and enter him in through the C gap. Tight end's going to block out. Everybody on the offensive line is just blocking what's in their right gap. All right, so you can see the potential for a big play here with this motion guy inserting, tight end blocking out, everybody on the offense blocking down and away to the right. All right. Don't have the ability to build any double teams. All right, no combinations. Everyone's just got solo blocks. All right, good. I like this right guard a lot. Let's start here. We'll go across the whole board, but we'll start right here at right guard. Okay. He does a really good job here of being patient off the line of scrimmage, understanding with this being a stand-up guy, he can drop, penetrate games, all types of stuff. The availability is there for him. And then he goes and gets him. His guy drops, right? Right guard, boom, and now go get him. Great job by the right guard. Heads up play by the right guard. All right. Over here at right tackle. Good. Inside out. All right, right here. At right tackle. All right. He does a good job playing inside out. Understand the only way he gets beat is if the defender goes across his face. Good. Nice job by the right tackle. Not too sure what the center here in this case, what he's thinking, right? I don't know exactly what they saw on film when it comes to this look defense on third down, but I would love to see him just go attack the defender on the angle that he finds him and to drive him this way and continue to drive him on that angle. Right here you can see he kind of steps with his left foot, a little hesitant off that left hand, trying to give it presence, and now he has to turn his hips to wash him by. It could be a little bit cleaner if he just steps right at him with that right foot right now. Boom. Okay? So it's footwork at center. Step right at him with your right foot. Second step on the same angle, right? And then just drive him on that angle. There, exactly like the left guard does a really good job here. All right? Left guard has this down block. He does a really good job of closing the distance with his feet, taking a good angle, and continuing to drive his feet once he makes contact. And that's right where the ball goes. Really good job here by the left guard. Let's highlight him again. All right? Great job on this down block, blocking this defender in the A gap, continue to drive his feet. Nice work. Good. Also, right here at left tackle, right? Really good job here at left tackle on this down block. He's got a wide 3, okay? He's doing a really good job of playing with good pad level. I love how he's entering the block. Boom. Look at that pad level. Good. Great footwork. Continue to move his feet. Gets up a little bit high at the end, but he's continuing to move those feet. Playing with tight inside hands, strong hands. All right, this is a very good look right here at left tackle. Boom, good. Nice play. All right, let's go to the tight end position. Good. So right here at the tight end position, he's just blocking out, right? I would just like to see him close the distance a little bit more with his feet, especially understanding that the guy he's going against looks like a much bigger defender. He's bigger than he is. Close that distance with your feet so you can't get knocked back into the hole. But he gets on his guy. They open up a big crease. Good. Third down, third and long. You get a third down pressure look. Okay, hand the ball off right down the middle. 20 some odd yards. Really good play. All right, third quarter now. Let's speed this up a little bit. Going from shotgun to pistol. Good, now we're gonna run wide zone. Breaks through the second level, gets tripped up a little bit. Great job by the wide receiver, both of these guys. All right, we spent so much time talking about the offensive line, the front seven, blocking schemes. All right, but both these guys right here, great job of getting on their defender, grabbing them, continue to work, and look at the ball right here is going right next to the wide receiver, right? That's the wide receiver's block right there. Look where the ball is entering. Ball carrier's right here. Okay, so really good job by the wide receiver. Also a really good job by the wide receiver up top. Look at running back, he's breaking through the second level. Wide receiver is still blocking his man. Potential for a home run right here, right? Could be a touchdown if he keeps his feet, doesn't get tripped up. All right, so let's look at the front, the start, and how we would count this up front. Okay, so this is a, not that. This is a under front, right? So we got our nose right here, got our defensive end, counting this offensive player as our tight end, right? We got a tight three technique on the backside, and then defensive end, right? Now inside the box, we count these guys as Sam, Mike, Will. Just so we're on the same page about this defense that we're looking at. We're running wide zone out of pistol. Okay, so center has declared number one as the Mike, meaning he's going to work first combination, getting to number one. The right tackle and the tight end right here are going to work a combination up to 31, right? So first, let's watch this combination. On the play side, we got tackle, tight end, working up to 31, right? Understanding these linebackers should flow a little bit with the path of the running back, okay? The tight end can do a really good job here. This blocker right here can do a really good job of being vertical, thick through that outside shoulder, giving a lot for this tackle to come and take it over. In an ideal world, this linebacker flows, right? And the tight end comes off and blocks him. Okay, but we got to have our eyes up because they're going to play defense and they could go a variety of different ways. But really good job here by tackle and tight end. And the tight end ends up getting a big pancake block. All right, let's watch the tight end right here first. Okay, so he's setting up that triple, a little wide initially, but the defensive end is playing into the tackle, so there's not much for him to hit. He pushes the shoulder, gets on his linebacker, continues to run his feet. And if you see at the end, It's hard to see from this angle right here, but he's getting a big time block, finishing with his guy on the ground. Okay, so great look by the right, or the tight end on the right. Good job by the right tackle. Right, I really like this by the right tackle. Right, he's getting a little bit of help from the tight end on this triple, but what I love is he gets on that angle and continues to work his feet on that angle. Right, and doesn't try to flip his hips. Right, he's continuing to work, Get your helmet where it needs to be. Now, my coaching point to him would be, instead of your helmet being right here, let's fight. Let's work as hard as we can to just get our helmet just a little bit further over, right? To continue to work, right? But good job of him running his feet after contact and trying his best to stay on that angle that he started on. Good. All right, now let's go inside. Okay, so at right guard and center right here, they're working up to number 1, right? And as we said, these linebackers should be flowing to us, right? So if I'm playing right guard right here, okay, so I'm the right guard in this position, working to this backside linebacker. Out of my stance, I should be thinking just going vertical, right? I just want to take my feet directly vertical, have my inside hand up to knock over that shoulder, right, to the center. You're only going to get a big piece of this combo if that nose plays into you. But if this nose plays into the center, you're just going vertical to hold space, keeping our eyes on this linebacker, right? As soon as he starts running, right, we got to pick our angle and meet him there, right? So here the right guard does a pretty good job with his feet. He's walking around the block a little bit too much though, right? Instead of his footwork going vertical off the ball right here, he's going lateral, right? He doesn't need to go lateral at all, especially with the position these linebackers are in. So just go vertical. And then the biggest thing is, whenever we get into a situation where in these combos in that backside, we're working with a backside defensive lineman, right? We cannot afford to do this with our shoulders. Now here it works, right? But versus different defense or maybe faster linebackers or different look, this probably won't work. And what doesn't work about this is the fact that he's turning his shoulders, right? As soon as he turns his shoulders, it makes it very hard to now flip his hips and run if this linebacker were to be sprinting that direction, and then he would be behind the block trying to go get him over there, right? So the initial footwork made it challenging on him to not have to turn his shoulders, but once we get into that situation, even if we take bad of initial footwork, we got to do a good job of staying square. Okay, so working up square. And he gets on his linebacker, so end of the day, it works for the right guard here. Good. Now this is a great job by the center on this reach block. Okay, he's reaching the nose, getting a little bit of help from the right guard, but I love the track out of his stance, and oh, look at that. That is textbook. Look at where the center ends up on his defender, right, on a wide zone play, right? Helmets across, got him reached. He's not flipping his hips. He's working square. That is a very good job. Let's watch that one more time. For all you young centers out there, any of your offensive linemen, okay? Reaching a guy on your snap hand may be one of the most challenging things that you'll have to do, especially out of gun. But this is a textbook example of what we want that to look like, the speed that you need to play with, the pad level that you need to be playing with, the angle out of your stance. This is a really good example here by the center. Let's watch him fly out of his stance. Boom, get his helmet where he needs to be. Keep working. Great job. Kid's good. Good, and then backside, let's talk about this situation here, right? They're working, let's say we got to account for number 8 on the backside, right? Now with that position of number 8, kind of opens up some possibilities of how you want to handle that. Now one of them obviously could be, we're going to be this to him, right? Work up, try to get the left guard through to get the linebacker, he's coming towards us, right? Another option, we could man here, send the tackle through, right, to go block number 8. But one way or the other, we got to get number 8 blocked. We got to get the defensive tackle blocked and number 8, right? In this case, if that were to happen, backside defense end would be the only unblocked defender, right? But as you see here, at the snap, number 8 is now outside the box, right? So heads up play by the left tackle and the left guard. Their communication was on point, right? Really good job by them of not just running to go nowhere, but now they turn it into a man situation and they both get their guys cut off. This is a really good look at left tackle, right? Being heads up, and now watch what he does. He feels this linebacker walk up. He knows he's going to play outside, right? He's expecting a big inside move here by the defense end, right? And watch his footwork. That is really good stuff here. Okay, really, really good. High level. Love his footwork out of his stance. Understanding what's going to happen based upon that linebacker's movement pre-snap. Getting on him. Great job by the left tackle. Also a really good job by the left guard. Very similar situation to the left tackle. But now his defender's a little bit tighter to him. He's almost in that 2 technique. Real tight 3. Right? He's playing inside. Great job on a backside cutoff. Right? This right here by the left guard, left tackle. 2 backside cutoffs that they're doing with perfect technique, great fundamentals, but the biggest thing is they're knowing their angles that they're supposed to be on and continuing to move their feet on those angles. So really good job here by those 2 guys. That's impressive stuff. Good. Another big play, right? Almost another touchdown run. Right? Great fundamentals up front, understanding who we're supposed to get to, communicating, using our technique, but biggest thing when it comes to wide zone, playing fast, right? Getting our helmet to where it needs to be, taking the appropriate angle, and just staying on that track as long as we can. Kind of hard to tell what the scheme is from this angle. We'll be able to tell better from the other angle, maybe just an inside zone is what it kind of looks like. Another big time run though. I think this is, it's basically just like inside zone. There's a lot of similarities between inside zone and duo, so sometimes it's kind of hard to tell exactly what they're running. This could be like nickel duo or inside zone. I think it's inside zone to the right. Okay, we got extra offensive linemen in the game. All right, so backside we got an extra offensive lineman. Now again, counting our tight end over here on the right side of the offensive line. We got our defensive end, nose, defensive tackle, and defensive ends over here. All right, so creating this under front if we want to count the tight end as a strength, or an over front if we're counting the extra offensive lineman as a strength. It doesn't really matter. Okay, regardless of who we're counting as a strength. Okay, Mike. Let's say tight end is a strength. We're going Sam, and then Will, right? Whether those guys are nickel, dime, doesn't really matter. Nickel or dime, it doesn't really matter, right? Or it could be base personnel. Those are the landmarks in the box that we're looking at as offensive linemen. Good. So right here, we're working combination at our right guard, right tackle spot. Okay, we're working one step and up, double, because it's inside zone. Right tackle, base block that. Center's solo. All right, now we got a backside B block. Okay, working up to 31. All right, our backside tackle is going to, this is actually an extra offensive lineman in this case, tight end, blocking the defense end, right? If we do everything we're supposed to do with that tight end arcing out, right, this linebacker right here, this second level player, should be the only unblocked defender. Big time stuff. Okay, let's start right here at left guard, left tackle. Okay, so like we said, they're working this combination up on this guy up to 31, trying to block 31. Right, what you're going to see is this defensive tackle plays into the offensive tackle. Right, so the left guard does a really good job of not turning his shoulders and chasing, but just climbing vertically. All right, so see how he plays away? The defensive tackle plays away. He stays vertical on his path, right? Doesn't chase out. And because he's staying vertical, staying square, he's able to get up to the linebacker and get a really big block. Great job here by the left guard. A really good job. I love the fact that he's not chasing this out move by the defensive tackle. He's just climbing vertically, right? Staying square. Really good job there by the left guard. Also a really good job by the left tackle, okay? Left tackle here does a really good job with this movement coming towards him, right? Of taking the angle to get his helmet underneath his, okay? Good footwork, good pad level, and he's continuing to move his feet, and you can see him grabbing on with those hands, right? Really good job. He's getting that second step in the ground quick. Ready, boom, boom, good. Nice work by the left tackle. All right, here at center, okay, again, very challenging. We're in the gun. You got a guy on your snap hand. We're running inside zone. You're trying to create movement this direction with that big body in front of you. Okay, you got to do a really good job with your feet. Try your hardest not to give a penetration by firing out with low pads. Okay, grabbing, hold low to high hands, which he does here, low to high hands. He just gets knocked back a little bit because look at that first step. Okay, it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but I'm gonna pause it right here, right? See on that first step how wide he's getting? That's 1 foot, that's another foot right there, right? His feet aren't working in tandem. They're not going right foot, left foot. He's just widening out his feet, right? I would love to see him get a little bit more comfortable just taking his first 2 steps at his target, right? And at center, sometimes we're not going to get a ton of knockback, right? Especially working those 350-pound nose guards and those big bodies inside, right? So his first step can't afford to just step back like that. And then see how he's never really bringing his second step. That left foot's never really going anywhere, okay? And then he's getting knocked back a little bit. He gets on his guy. You guys are able to get him blocked, but it could look better. All right. Let's go right guard, right tackle, okay? They're working up to 41 through the defense end, right? Right guard here, you can only afford to take 1 step to your gap, checking the hip, all right? If you don't have anything coming towards you, you got to climb vertically, right? So 1 step and then climb now, right? You can't afford to take multiple steps to that right tackle. Understand that you're probably not going to get much help from your right guard unless you get inside movement. Right, so go vertical with that first step, vertical across the line of scrimmage with that second step. Right, and again, if this is inside zone, the path to the back, right, you're trying to keep this guy outside here. Okay, so let's watch this combination. Good. So I don't like the right guard's first couple steps. I think that puts him in a bad situation. See how he's right foot is going back a little bit, left foot's going to the left, right? So we're getting wide with our base. And then you're having to go attack with your eyes down. Now if 41 were to go play here, right, I think the right guard would kind of be screwed. I think he could help himself a lot by just going one step to the right, boom, and then get vertical. Okay. Not a bad job by the right tackle. They end up not being able to get to their linebacker, and he's able to get in on the tackle, right? And I think the right tackle would have been fine if the right guard just went vertical. Because then if he went vertical in this situation here, where defensive end is clearly playing into the tackle, right? You could use that right shoulder, hit it right in the rib cage, and send this guy flying this way on your path to go block this linebacker. And this extra offensive lineman on the backside, let's go to him. All right, go close the distance. Close the distance. Go keep that guy out. Just don't allow him to get back into the play. Keep working. Keep working. All right, you get the opportunity to go into play as the extra offensive lineman. Right, right here in this case, you're getting that long arm to your chest. Okay. You feel this, get that guy's hands off you, swipe it down, push it up, whatever you need to do to get his hands off you from knocking you back. Good. All right, so another scheme now here in the fourth quarter. And I think we all saw this one. This was a huge run. Now, not your traditional hand the ball off and run and blocking assignments, right? So we won't spend as much time on that. But it is a really cool run in a very big part of the game. And it's more so like pass blocking for a lot of positions up front. This is a quarterback draw or lead draw. We're getting the running back to lead through. What an effort. All right. All right, let's let them get set up. Okay, so it looks like early on, center's declaring number 1 as their target, who is, over here on the left. Okay, we got defensive end. We got defensive tackle. Our nose playing a tight one. And now our defensive end on the backside is playing, a 4 technique. He's really tight. So let's let this roll a little bit. All right, so on this play right here, based upon the defensive front, right, it could change. It's not always these guys, but because of the look the defense is giving us, right, we're going to go pass block, pass block, pass block, right? With that, if these guys can get their defenders to rush up the field, right, that's ideal. Right, you want these guys to work up the field as much as you can to try to go past the ball carrier. And then inside, right, at center and left guard, right, we're working more of a run block. Now, this is a run block, and we're working all the way to number 1, who's on the backside. So guard come down, probably think about knocking it over, center collect it, and then the guard can climb up to block number 1. We're going to have our running back in the backfield to block this guy. Look at the strain and the effort right here by the center. Right? Not textbook technique, not textbook fundamentals, but he just continued to work, even when he's on his knees. All right, you can see him right here. He's falling to his knees, but look at him continue to move his feet, create an extra few inches for the quarterback. All right, really good job here by the center. Just playing with a lot of strain and desire to finish this block. Really good job. What a play. All right, left guard here does a really good job of knocking over the nose. All right, knocking him over to the center, climbing up to the linebacker. Knocks it over and he goes climb, right? The linebacker he's supposed to be blocking is the guy that was pre-snap located right here, who has since dropped back in the coverage, thinking it's pass. All right, so just go find work, find work, find work. Keep working, keep working. Good job. Big time block by the running back too. Dang, let's highlight this. Not often do we see big running back blocks like this. Watch him leading through here, making good contact, but he continues to run his feet, just continues to drive his feet, looking to finish, right? Stays attached to him, boom. And look at the quarterback's about to enter the end zone. You got your running back on top of a linebacker. Really cool stuff, right? Now, those other offensive line positions we're not going to talk about much. They're just trying to get their guys up the field, make it feel like pass. Don't let him retrace back into the play, right? So the right guard, just try to be only one here I'll say anything about is just right guard. Try to stay a little bit more inside out, right? Don't allow that guy to be head up on you. Really force him around the edge. Damn. That hit had to hurt too. These boys are fired up. All right, last play we're going to watch. Okay, again, starting in shotgun, going back to pistol. And now this time we're running wide zone to the extra offensive lineman side. All right, so last time we had this formation, right, we were running inside zone to the tight end, who in this case is on the offensive left side. All right, he's right here. Okay, we got an extra offensive lineman on the backside. Last time we ran like some sort of inside zone. Now they're running outside zone to the extra offensive lineman side. Oh my gosh, good. All right, we'll spend a lot of time on the other angle, but watch this guy. That wide receiver down here at the bottom. He's got that push crack. Going to crack. Great job. Okay, if we can get our running back one-on-one with a corner, right, that's a favorable matchup. Typically, corners are not the best tacklers or the biggest defenders, so we'd always prefer to block safeties, linebackers when we can. Leave our running backs one-on-one with the corners. All right, so we're going to work on this play a triple between our right tackle and our extra offensive lineman to number one, who should be flowing to us, right? Okay, now backside, we're going to work a combination, an A block, right, up to number 31, who again should be flowing to us, right? That would mean the right guard is going to be solo. Okay, backside tackle, we got cut off. Okay, let's start at this triple combination here between our right tackle and an extra offensive lineman. Good. Now, just kind of like in the same vein of thought that we were talking about earlier, when our linebacker that we're working to is already so far in front of us, or inside of us right here, okay, this first lead blocker should be thinking about going really vertical off this ball. Right? You should be getting that left shoulder underneath his face mask right there. Like really set it up for the right tackle. You guys can stay thick on it. in this case, again, he turns his shoulders because initially, see his initial step. Watch his right step here. All right, I'll try to pause it too when he gets to that point. Boom. But see how wide it is? That's unnecessary to go that wide. Like the defender they're working to, the linebacker they're working to is in here, and the defensive end is in here, right? So there's nothing that you need to step out that wide for, okay? So have a little bit more power behind your block if you were just going vertical with those first two steps, and then you wouldn't have to turn your shoulders. And again, it works here. It's not always going to work. All right, these linebackers aren't flowing super fast right now for whatever reason. He's able to get on his guy and get a big block, okay? The technique could just be a little bit better by going vertical with his footwork off the ball and not having to turn his shoulders, all right? But at the end of the day, they get their guys blocked, really good job. Also a really good job here by the right tackle, all right? Going to get a reach block, drive reach on the defense end, gets his helmet where it needs to be. He ends up flipping his hips because he gets him reach so fast, right? Really good reach block right here by the right tackle. Getting a little help from the extra offensive lineman. Boom, getting his helmet where it needs to be, playing good pad level, staying on his guy. Good job. All right, good job by the right guard too. He doesn't get very much movement. That the defensive tackle, all right guard here, the defensive tackle is kind of playing through his inside shoulder. He's trying to get his helmet outside, so when he does that, it makes it really easy on him. He doesn't even have to go anywhere. Look at his second step hasn't even moved. All right, he's got him reached. Right, but his first step, we can clean that up. Right, doesn't need to be dropping back that much. Our feet need to be working in tandems. So that means if my right foot steps, my left foot has to step. Otherwise, I'm gonna get with these really big, really wide base. Right, I'm not very powerful there. Now here, he's able to get him blocked. But at the next level, he's going to have to clean up this technique a little bit. All right, now combination between center, left guard, working up to 31. We'll call this an A block, right? An A, combination in the A gap, okay? In an ideal world, the guard can cut him off, the nose off, and the center can get through. Now with this type of movement, right, it presents some challenges. Obviously pre-snap, they didn't know this was coming. If they did know it was gonna happen that way, they could turn this into, a single. But let's see what happened here. All right. Good, yeah, so you can see how he got picked there, okay? So, this is a tough situation right here. He's playing in that gap. He has to do a great job. The center has to do a great job of really going vertical off the line of scrimmage, trying to get his backside shoulder right underneath that face mask, right? Allow this guard to come take it over, and then maybe you guys can knock it vertically together. But if this nose is gonna play thick into you, right, there could be an opportunity for you to collect him, big arm him almost, and now this guard climb up and he's going to get 31. All right, but tough situation to be in. This needs to play with better pad level. The center just needs to play with better pads, because right here he's never going to be able to get through with that pad level, right? He's got to work on keeping those shoulders down so he can get through there. Efficient footwork, but good job by that backside guard, the left guard, of him taking over the nose. And this left tackle is good. Watch the left tackle here. He's got a backside cutoff on the defense end. Feet in the ground fast, great body position, continue to move his feet. Look at those first two steps. Watch this first step, boom, how quickly they're in the ground. All right, really quick first two steps. Look at the body position on contact, right? Like, great job playing against a really good defender, another guy who's gonna be, drafted highly, and you're doing everything you can to win, and you win with your body on the play side. That's big time stuff here by that left tackle. Nice work. Another big gain. All right. So those were all the runs that were explosives, right? 10 plus yards, chain movers, big momentum changers. Okay, those plays are really important for us to get the game going in our direction, whether we're behind in the game or we're ahead in the game, right? Those really, really hurt the defense, okay? So big explosive runs take a lot of good blocking, right? Not just from the offensive line, not just from the tight ends or the fullbacks who are in the game, but the wide receivers, as you can see in this case, right? Those 5, 6, 7, 8-yard runs all of a sudden become 12, 15, 20-yard runs when the wide receivers are involved. Everyone's doing their part. We're communicating at the line of scrimmage. Quarterback is changing plays, getting us in the right direction or into the right play. All that stuff is pivotal, as you can see in this game with 5 runs over 50 yards. Indiana was able to win this game and kind of wear down the defense of Miami. So I appreciate you guys watching. This is the national championship game, Indiana explosive runs versus Miami. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Please comment. I'll try my best to respond to all comments and like and share to anybody you think might be interested. But with that, thank you.